right, guys, here we are, Bernie Gallerani with Bernie Gallerani Real Estate with Miss Trista McIntosh. And Trista has been our luxury real estate agent now for a couple of years and has done an amazing job. And I want to also thank you for doing this interview with me and congratulate you because you're featured now in the Nashville Luxury Real Estate Magazine. So that is such an awesome honor for you to be able to be in there. And so I wanted to do a quick video just for people that maybe are like, because when I've been in the business for 20 years, and one of the things that I've heard a ton of times when I was working in luxury was, how do you break into that luxury market, right? And so I pulled it off it took me a lot longer than it did you. I pulled it off just based by kind of faking it till I made it kind of a thing, right? You did it much quicker than I could have ever considered doing it. So I guess my question to you is, how can you help somebody who says, I'd love to help people in the luxury market? That's kind of how I see myself, because that's how you saw yourself. What advice can you give for that?
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, and that would have been my answer, is that I think you first have to see yourself as that. Like, you have to have an identity that is aligned with what you want, right? So like when I got into real estate, I just always saw myself getting into luxury. So decisions that I made or moves that I made or a path that I may have gone down, if I had two paths to choose, then I'm going to choose the path that was going to get me closer to the identity that I saw for myself, which was to be a luxury real estate agent.
What differences did you experience from working those that were wealthy, right, had bigger, much multi-million-dollar homes, versus some of the other properties that were, let's call it $400,000 or $500,000 properties? What's the difference in your approach to those that have more money? Those houses might be more of a challenge. How did you wrap your mind around that, and what was the difference in those conversations?
And it's funny because I don't notice drastic differences, because I feel like I still try to deliver a service and I try to deliver an excellence no matter what side of the dollar, bracket you may be in. What I found is just my personal enjoyment in it. It's just, I think that when you get into any career, especially one where you get to choose who you work with, it made sense for me to go in a direction of a clientele that I just enjoyed working that product. I love luxury homes. I love design. It's exciting to me. It's fun to me. And so I just naturally gravitated to what I enjoyed, not necessarily choosing, like, I don't really want the lower price point for any other reason, more than just, it was just something that I think I naturally liked.
So you could, I think if I'm hearing you right, your energy level, enthusiasm, and excitement was more apt to that product. So you felt more enthusiastic to get it sold and more excited probably to go to work.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. It was just more exciting. The energy, the passion, the drive, going in that direction was just higher, because of my enjoyment level with it. And then also too, I've really enjoyed the clients that I've met in that bracket. I feel like I have a lot in common with them. I feel like there's, a lot that we can talk about, so I just feel like that just naturally I just continue to go in that direction.
Did you have to change your conversational style at all? In other words, did you have to think like the wealthy to hang out with the wealthy? Or were you still just you and faked it? Or, because obviously you do well financially now. But how did you build your confidence up enough to feel you were worthy enough to support the needs they had at that price point?
It's so funny that you asked that and I think you'll remember this. I used to only take Chris's vet to luxury homes because I thought that is what I needed to do. And I quickly realized I didn't.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And I had an idea. I think I had the perception of how I had to show up. And I have to drive this fancy car and I have to get there. And then I realized that my Audi was just perfectly fine. Like it was just fine.
Well, it's a nice outing too.
It
Right?
is
It's
a
not
nice
like
outing.
it's a cheapie or anything.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I think I thought that I had to, I don't know, put on something else than what I already was. I don't know that I mean, it is our car. So, I mean, it's not like I went out and rented a, car that didn't belong to me or like present myself as something that I'm not.
Yeah.
But my perception was that I had to do that. And then when I started meeting these clients and they were super down to earth and everybody was just I'm like, I don't need all of this.
Yeah.
I don't need all this. So
Do you think you had to change your appearance a little bit? Like, did you dress a little bit nicer?
Yeah.
Right? Because you kind of had to show that you have a level of success.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are successful. That's why they have these homes.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was something that you had to really focus on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I this year, well, at the end of last year, I gave away probably about 85% of my clothes. 90%.
Wow.
I had very little left. And then I just started buying all new clothes, understanding that style is a part of your presentation.
Yes.
And how you show up.
Yes.
And that people make decisions about you very, very quickly.
Yes.
And so I upgraded my style because I knew that I was upgrading my price points. I was upgrading my clientele. And so I had to look the part.
I was asked a question years and years ago from a friend of mine. And he was in the construction business. And I'd always go to work with a suit and tie, right?
Yeah.
And he said to me one day, because he was my neighbor and also a really good family friend, and he said, I notice you always dress up like with a suit. He goes, I wouldn't care if you had a suit on if you came to my house. And I said, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I said, however, you're in the construction business.
Yeah.
So when you go to work every single day, you have a pair of jeans on and a t-shirt and go to work. Some of my clientele go to work with a suit on. And if you wear a suit every day, you really respect those that wear a suit, right?
Yeah.
And so the challenge in our industry, in the real estate industry, as you know, has a lot of different challenges. But one of them is that realtors kind of show up as they want to show up.
Yes.
And yet they want to get into the luxury market, but they're not willing to spend money on themselves to improve their appearance.
Their image,
Yeah. And so I guess the question that I would share with any of the agents paying attention to this video is it's not overrated, right, to dress up, to, and one of the things I would always say to people is, because I'd show up in if I was going to list a farm, I'd show up in my suit, right?
Yes.
And you'd have really interesting comments like, "Why you didn't have to wear a suit here?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, you deserve that.
Absolutely.
I'm working hard to get you to say yes to having me represent you listing. I'm going to work hard, but I'm also going to get paid a lot of money by you to do that.
Right.
You deserve to have somebody who dresses professionally and acts professionally.
Absolutely.
Even more so important in the luxury market, right?
Absolutely, 100%. I think that it also demonstrates how you think about yourself. If I see myself as a luxury agent, there's an image of myself that I see, and that image is professional.
I love that.
And so I'm showing up as the professional because that's what I believe I am.
That was interesting you said that. I hadn't actually thought about what you just said. It's not so much about you impressing them as is you being the agent you want to be in the job that you have. And that's what that agent to you looks like.
Absolutely.
That's big.
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, it goes back to the identity of who I saw myself as an agent. So I'm dressing in that image, I'm becoming that image of what I see. And so that's how I show up.
It's interesting. Winnie and I've talked about this for a year, let's just say, that we've noticed how the clothes you wear and the way you show up is so different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
So you've made this kind of decision on your own because we've always talked about dressing to impress within our group.
Yeah.
But you've taken it to a whole different level. And then doing the podcasts that you do and the videos that you do for your clients.
Yep.
You're spending quite a bit of money with all your clients' homes to really highlight their property.
100%.
It gets expensive, right?
It does. Yeah. I mean, and I think that that's another point. I think if you're looking to get into luxury, you have to understand that you have to be willing to spend money. This is marketing and sales. So it's a luxury home client, they're going to look at what other luxury homes are, how they're being marketed, and you have to be willing to
step up.
Step up.
Yeah. And that's what they expect.
Yeah.
And that's always the hard part, guys, about working in the luxury market, I would guess, is that, well, I don't want to spend all the money. Well, they expect that, they deserve that.
Yeah.
And the client who watches these homes online want to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And
They
so
do.
the agent that you pick should have an appearance that is right, should market the property, should take not only pictures, but the best pictures,
Yeah.
not just drone footage, but the best drone footage, not just a walkthrough, but a great walkthrough,
Yeah.
right?
I spend hours thinking about how to market the property in a video. I mean, I can talk to the videographer like an hour and a half, just going over concept. What do we want to do? What do I want to showcase? What part of the house do I want to highlight? What's the storyline? Like, what's the
Oh, I love
script?
that.
Yeah, like I script everything out. I create a storyline, like the whole thing. Like I treat it like it's a movie.
Well, that's why you're having so much success.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome, and I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thank you.
Which is why I wanted to get together with this
Yes.
video. I wanted to honor you and the success that you've
Yes,
had in that
thank you.
magazine, and it's a great acknowledgement to. It's a great acknowledgement to the work that you're doing,
Yeah.
the attitude that you have, the direction you're pointing your business to,
Yeah.
and all the best of the success that you're having. So if you guys are actually wanting to know how she did it, call Trista McIntosh. Give them your email if you want, just on the camera.
Yeah.
So they can email you if they have questions.
Absolutely. Trista at BernieGallerani.com. And that's BernieGallerani.com.
Yeah, that's not an easy one.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Trista. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If there's any questions you have about the luxury market, give Trista a call. She is the best. Thanks all.
Awesome. Thank you.